Today we're going to be going over how you can make millions of dollars this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, a lot of people are collectively agreeing that this is a bad week in GTA Online, and I actually kind of disagree. I think there's some pretty solid ways to make money this week, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to make millions of dollars this week in online without having to put in a crazy amount of effort. But just quick before we get into the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. I've been loving the insane support lately and a lot of people watch these videos, but this graph is looking a little crazy. So consider subscribing if you like the content and you want to see more. Getting started with the weekly challenge, which is to complete 3 auto shop client jobs this week. Now, this is referring to the auto shop customer deliveries, and these refer to the cars that spawn into your auto shop. Now, these are going to come in every 48 minutes, and this repeats as you do the mission. So you do one, another car will spawn 48 minutes later. Now, if you have the secondary lift upgrade for your auto shop, you're not just going to get 1 car every 48 minutes, you're going to get 2. So this can help you to make a little bit more money with your auto shop, so that's pretty cool. These missions are on double money this week, so they're going to pay you roughly $40,000 to $80,000 of profit per car that you do. Now, the amount of money you're going to get varies mostly depending on the class of the vehicles that you're delivering. So if it's a supercar, it's going to be more like $80K. If it's like a sports car or something lesser, it's going to be more like $50K. And if it's like a muscle car, it's probably going to be like $40K profit. So it goes down, so focus on the supercars primarily, but do them all really. Now, basically the idea is that you're gonna modify these cars to the customer specifications, which are always terribly ugly, by the way. Now, a tip for you is that you can actually do whatever you want on top of what the customer wants. So if you're going to be delivering the cars manually yourself, I would suggest doing all the performance upgrades that you possibly can. So if the customer wants an engine and a brake upgrade and a suspension upgrade, do the turbo and the transmission as well and put them to full. You might as well, it's going to get you there faster. You should also do the spoiler so you get a little bit more traction. It's overall going to make your drive a little bit quicker and just a lot more pleasant. Now, the customer might knock off $5,000 from what they pay you, or they can add up to $5,000 to the total payment as well. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but no matter what, it's going to make delivering the cars yourself a lot more pleasant. So I would recommend doing this. However, if you have the auto shop staff, you're probably going to recall them being extremely terrible when the auto shop first came out. However, in 2026, they're not nearly as bad as they were upon initial release of the auto shop. You're actually going to get your money nearly in full a lot of the time now. So if you have something else you could be doing to make money, other than delivering the cars manually, you should probably send those vehicles with your auto shop workers because you're going to get paid later, and while you're waiting for that payment to come in, you could be doing something extra to make money. For example, you could do your bunker ammunition delivery, just as a quick example, your CEO export mixed goods, just a couple of quick examples for you there. Something to note is that a typical stat you'll see is that 8 out of 10 times these auto shop workers will deliver the car successfully, and the 2 other times you're going to lose maybe $5,000 to $15,000. So it's really not that bad. You should almost always be using the staff, in my opinion at least. Now, for those of you that don't own an auto shop, or you may want to upgrade yours, they're 40% off this week, including upgrades. So that's pretty good. So if you don't have one, I'd highly recommend buying it. Something worth mentioning is that even if you're a level 1, all performance upgrades are unlocked through the Auto Shop Vehicle Workshop. So you can get a turbo, stage 4 engine upgrades, and everything like that would otherwise be locked at a regular Los Santos Customs or any other personal auto shop that you own. As far as location goes for your auto shop, I would personally get whichever one is closest to the majority of your businesses. For example, I have a lot of my businesses in the Mission Row area, so that's the auto shop that I have. Now, as far as which upgrades you should buy, you should definitely get that second car lift. And you should probably buy the staff this week while they're 40% off. I guarantee you can make your money back as long as you do a few customer deliveries this week. You're going to be in profit anyways. So I would highly recommend doing that. The personal quarters is also cool if you want to spawn in at the auto shop, but I don't overly recommend it because you can get there pretty easily. For the next thing we got to talk about, we have Madrazo hits on triple money this week. Honestly, these are a great way to make some extra money and they take no time at all. You simply find where the Madrazo hit spawns on the map, head there, activate the mission, and go to the area and take out the target with a specific weapon, and then leave. Then you get paid, Now for the mission that I completed in this gameplay here, I didn't even use the right weapon because I had no way to access it, which is the only annoying thing about these. But regardless, I got paid $60,000 for this. So how much would I have got if I didn't use the wrong weapon? Probably a little bit more, probably 80 or 100,000. So these are not bad. Now one of these missions is going to spawn every real life day. So if you do this during this week, it's an easy several $100,000 that you can get. And honestly, it was kind of fun. Something else that I should go over, and it's not technically a way to make money, but it's a way to save a bunch of money. And this is the fact that you can get the Pagasi Tempesta, a $1,329,000 supercar that's got all-wheel drive that looks like the Lamborghini Huracan in real life. You can get this thing by literally placing top 5 in an LS Car Meet Series race. So what you can do, go into a drag race this week in GTA Online. It only holds 4 players to begin with, and literally finish the race with one other person in the lobby, and you will get a free $1,300,000 car. Insane, you gotta do this, you might as well. This is absolutely insane, you gotta take advantage of this. Now one quick additional thing I wanna go over is that transform races are on double money this week. They're honestly a blast to play with friends or with randoms, and as you go through these tracks, your vehicle is going to be switched at certain checkpoints. So you're going to go from being in a car to being in a plane to being in a boat. It's pretty cool. It's an interesting way of racing in GTA. Something also to note is that someone who's in first can very easily end up in last in these races. So even if you're not the most talented racer ever, you can still win or place well in this mode. Now the thing is to keep in mind, in GTA, races pay better the more players you have and the longer you spend in them. So if you play in a full lobby, it will increase the earning potential for everybody involved. And if you get first place in a lobby like this while being over the 8-minute mark and a full lobby, you're going to make some pretty serious money. And honestly, anyone in the top 3 is going to make some really good money. So my opinion is this is going to be a pretty good way to make money this week while also having a good amount of fun. I'm probably going to be playing these later on stream today, so drop by if you're interested. But of course, the main attraction this week, as dull as it may sound, is the double money and RP bonus, part of the MC businesses. Now, this is the worst of all the MC businesses in GTA Online, as I'm sure you're aware. However, what if I told you that on double money, this business nearly rivals the Acid Lab in terms of money per hour? That would be crazy, right? Well, it's actually true. When this business is on double money, it's worth $315,000, which is kind of crazy. On double money, it's worth $315,000. Insane. But it actually produces the stock pretty quick. It only takes 3 hours, which is about the same as the Acid Lab, and that's with the acid production boost activated at some point. Now, obviously, it's a little bit less money. However, if you own a mansion in GTA Online, you can do the mansion production boost, which will turn that 3 hours into just 1 hour to make $315,000. And this effectively ends up matching the Coke lockup in terms of money per hour. $315,000 an hour is not bad. Now, I'm obviously not saying it's as good as Acid. Now, with the Acid Lab, you're always going to get the Acid delivery bike, which is a much better sale vehicle than anything you can get through MC businesses. However, with the document forgery and all the MC businesses, they have added a few single vehicle sale missions, like the one that I'm driving on your screen right now. Plus, they've also removed delivery vans from the sale mission vehicle pool, and furthermore, they've extended the time to complete a sale solo to 45 minutes. So it is possible to do. And again, I'm not saying it's not a pain in the ass. It is, but I'm saying it's significantly better than it ever was. So if you want to grind these businesses, you're going to make a lot more money this week than you would have in previous weeks. Now, the document forgery office itself is also on sale this week. They're 40% off, including the upgrades inside them. And I don't really recommend buying one, even with the discount, unless you play GTA Online a lot and you're going to be on enough to make your money back from the purchase this week. The real issue with this business is that if you do decide to buy it, you're stuck with it all the time, and when it's not on 2 times money, during that time it is literally the worst business in the entire game. So I reiterate, do not buy the document forgery office. If you don't have one already, do not buy one, please. One more thing to touch on with document forgery though, is if you sell in a public session or a crew session and get the high demand bonus, the documents are actually going to sell for $472,500 this week. So that's not bad. And with enough sales of this during the week, probably about 4 in total, you can definitely make your money back on buying a document forgery. So I'm just saying that is a thing, but I don't really recommend it still. Now, if you already own this business, make sure to check on your upgrades, because if you've already got this, you might as well make it work as best as it possibly can. So get the equipment, staff, and security upgrades for it. As always, to end off the video, use your technicians in your CEO Cargo warehouses as often as possible to source you cargo, and keep all your businesses supplied, and use the Mansion Boost as often as you can. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back again next week for another video just like this. Subscribe if you want to see that. Until then, take care. Peace.